guys, welcome to the channel. My name is Tessie and you are on Chats with Tessie. On this channel we discuss viral topics, relationships, my lifestyle and just trending topics in general. It's so lovely to have you. Welcome back. If you're a new subscriber, if you've joined from any of my previous videos, it's lovely to have you. If you're an old subscriber, welcome. It's also lovely to have you. Guys, grab yourself a drink. I have got here a glass of wine. I've just come back from doing my nails. I've got Christmas nails. It's very nice. So grab yourself a glass of wine, a cup of coffee or tea or whatever, and let's chat about the difference between a wealthy man and a generous man, because there's a difference. Ladies, I have something to tell you. I cannot find my engagement ring. I'm laughing like I haven't been crying. And girls, I don't cry much. Girls, guys, whoever's watching, I do not cry. I am not someone that cries much. But when I couldn't find my engagement ring, my diamond engagement ring, I started crying. I cried so badly because I didn't want Greg. And for all of you guys who don't know, Greg is my fiance. He is Polish. I am Nigerian. Yes, it is an interracial marriage. And it's going to be incredible. We are planning and things are going well so far. Apart from the fact that I can't find my ring. I'm wearing the dummy ring that Greg bought me, but I can't find my ring. So after I was crying, Greg so graciously told me that he would buy me another engagement ring. Ladies, people, I don't even understand. It's like, I don't even understand. I put it down somewhere and I just can't find it. And it's been 3 weeks. It's been like, I found it. So I put it down somewhere. I didn't remember where I put it down. And I was very sure that I left it somewhere safe, because I normally put it back in a box. It's a whole palaver, okay? I can't just go into it, but it's a whole palaver. And I was crying so badly. And Greg said that he would pay for another one for me. And I've already showed him my wedding ring, the wedding ring that I would like. And I would love my wedding ring to be from Cartier. So he's hopefully going to get me that. And then for Christmas as well, I saw a beautiful Coach bracelet and I asked him for that as my Christmas gift. So he said he's going to get me that. So there's going to be a whole load of jewelry going on this finger to join my LV bracelet. There's going to be a whole load of jewelry. And hopefully I'll have another engagement ring to show you guys. I don't know if it's going to be the same one or a different one, but yeah. My life is crazy. We are flying to America in January, me and Greg, and there's just going to be so much happening. I can't wait to show you guys. But yeah, let's now that the intro is over, because let's move past that and let's talk about what is the difference between a generous and a wealthy man. So everyone talks about how you need a provider, blah 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 blah, and yes, you do need a provider. You need a guy that will provide for you, take care of you, make the burden on you less, especially if you want to have his kids, especially if you want to have his family, if you want to have his kids. You know, if you want to build a family and a life with him and take care of the home, or, you know, even just live a life with someone, you need a guy that will, you know, do his best to provide. But I think a lot of women make the mistake in thinking that the man has to be 100% 7 figures to be a provider. And that's not true. It's just not true. Right? A man providing and wanting to take care of his family, it's a pathology, it's a mindset, right? And if a guy is 6 or 7 figures and he doesn't have any of that mindset, it doesn't matter how wealthy he is, he's not going to do anything for you. Or even the little that he does for you is going to make it seem like it's the biggest thing he's done in the world. I've seen ladies complain about men who, when they ask them to even pay for the Uber, the guy is complaining. Look, that doesn't mean anything. If the guy has a great job and he's doing well, but he doesn't want to share anything with you, then you may as well be on your own. It's as simple as that. You might as well be on your own, because you're not actually getting any kind of affection or attention in terms of, you know, the guy. I mean, obviously he'll probably be giving you affection. He'll probably be kissing you, hugging you and all of that. But with men, a lot of men, when it comes to things that they value, they invest in it. You know, okay, I'll give you an example. Greg is into crypto. He loves crypto. When I first met him, our first date, he kept talking about cryptocurrency and how he just really enjoys it. And I was like, what's going on? What is this? Explain to me what crypto is about. He never did quite get round to explaining to me, but he was very interested in sharing with me just what he thought of it and, what he was doing with it. And I found that really endearing because he was very forthright with sharing his passions and, sharing what he wanted to do for himself and how he was getting himself to the next level. Pause. I need to drink. Okay, play. But yeah, he was very, very forthcoming with me. And if you're with a guy, the guy doesn't want to take you out to the cinema, even just do basic things. He doesn't want to spoil you with even just a night out or a place out somewhere, then it doesn't matter how much money he makes. It really doesn't matter how much he says he has. You don't have access to any of that. So you don't have any of that. I see a lot of women who talk about how the guys that they're with are doing this and doing it, but they don't do anything for you. They expect a lot from you, but they don't do anything for you. And, there's a total difference between a man being wealthy and a man being generous. You want a generous man. It's not necessarily a man that's wealthy. So Greg is very generous. Look, I've just spoken about how I lost my diamond engagement ring. You guys have seen my engagement ring all over my channel. Can you imagine me losing an engagement ring like that? And Greg has told me he will buy me another one because he loves me very much. And I love him because he's so generous and he takes care of me and he adores me and he cherishes me and he treats me nicely. So I love and respect him. And you need a man that's generous, a man that he doesn't necessarily have to have 7 figures or 8 figures or whatever it is that people want these days, because I don't know. I'm seeing all sorts of things on social media, but he needs to be generous, And Greg is very generous. And look, let me tell you something. When you're looking at, a guy sharing your life with a man, he needs to show you what he has. You need to be seeing what the guy has. You need to understand where he's at in life. You cannot build a life with someone who doesn't want to share their financial situation with you. It's impossible, because the number one reason for divorce is finances, even over cheating. So it is impossible. And there are articles that I will even try and link to the video for this. So you need to make sure that the guy shares things with you. Greg shared every single part of his finances with me. He knew I had a house. He knew I bought a house and I was renovating it. And as you guys know, I've posted in my community tab, I've started the renovation for my rental property, which I'll be renting out. He knew all about that. When I met him, he started sharing his life with me. He started sharing me things, showing me things that he was doing. He told me, look, when he wanted to get married to me, when he said, oh, I want to marry you, he told me, look, you'll be going on my life insurance. He showed me all the stuff he had. He gave me access to his phone. He told me, look, if anything, God forbid, if anything happens to me in life, or if anything happens to our kids, this is what I have. This is what I want you to know. Everything about me. I want you to be provided for. I want you to be protected in case, God forbid, anything happens to me. I pray to God that Greg lives a very long time. But do you see the mindset that he has? He's trying to cover all the bases to make sure that I will be protected, to make sure that our life together will be protected. And any future children we have will be protected. That is providing. That is a man with vision. And just because a guy is wealthy does not necessarily mean he'll provide for you. Do you know how many wealthy celebrities there are out there who are deadbeat dads? Shall we talk about Patrick Stewart, who has literally had no relationship with his kids for decades? Shall we talk about Owen Wilson, who he doesn't even see his children? There are so many celebrities like this. Shall we talk about, what's that guy's name? Brian McKnight, or who literally has like one set of kids that he doesn't even speak to. Just because a guy is wealthy does not mean he provides, does not mean he wants to provide for you either. And just because a man has money does not mean you have access to that money. The man has to love you and value you and want to give you that lifestyle and want to provide. I'm very, very lucky that I have a man that wants to provide for me to the point where I can lose my engagement ring and he'll get me another one. I'm very, very fortunate. And I want ladies to understand there's a difference. Just because a guy isn't 7 figures or whatever does not mean he cannot provide for you. Don't get it wrong. Don't allow social media to confuse you. Greg is doing very well. I'm very lucky. I would say about 6 figures in assets from what I've seen. And he's doing incredibly well. But it's not even just the fact that he's doing well. It's the fact that he wants to provide. You can't force a man to provide for you. If he doesn't want to provide for you, forget it. It's not happening. Did you hear what I said? I said, forget it. Forget it. It's not happening. It's not happening. If he doesn't want to provide for you, you're finished with that guy because it's not going to go anywhere. And obviously, you know, when a guy wants to marry you, he has to know that he's going to provide. I'll give you an example. You guys know, me and Greg, we did the traditional engagement a couple of weeks ago. I posted it on my community tab. This man had to come to my parents and he had to explain to my parents how he was going to take care of me. He literally had to answer the questions. My mom was like, how are you going to pay the mortgage? How are you going to pay for things? He had to sit there and answer the questions. He had to explain his entire plan that he had for our marriage and our life. This is what I mean when I say a guy has to have vision. If he doesn't have vision, if he doesn't have a plan on how he's going to take care of you, build a life with you, or more, you don't have any business with that guy. You don't have any business with that guy. I see a lot of ladies getting with men that have no plan, absolutely no plan for how he's going to provide for the future. You're just living day to day. You're just living, you don't even know what's going to happen the next day. No. This is how ladies waste their time in life. This is how ladies waste their time. Greg had to explain to my parents how he was going to pay the mortgage, how he was going to take care of me. He had to look my parents in the eye and explain this. You cannot just say you want to go and carry one African woman and get married like that. Or more, there are elders that you have to answer to. There are people you have to answer to. You know, bearing in mind, he also has to pay the bride price. So, like I said, just because a guy is not 7 figures does not mean he does not have wealth. And it doesn't mean that he cannot provide for you. There are plenty of guys in a 6-figure in bracket, you know, that have income, or even 5 figures, that have assets. Because it's not just whether you have money, it's what you do with the money. It's how you take care of your money. When I see how Greg has built himself, I'm so impressed and I'm so proud of him. You know, and I think a lot of ladies get it twisted because realistically, there are a lot more women out there looking for 7 figures than there are 7 figures individuals. So I think a lot of ladies need to understand that just because just because a guy may be somewhat wealthy does not mean he wants to spend that money on you. Does not mean he wants to take care of you or take care of any children you might create. This is why a lot of ladies create kids with men and the men just leave them. You know, I see a lot of ladies who believe that having a baby with a wealthy man will mean that you're 100% taking care of all your life. Then you see all these stupid celebrities complaining that the guy doesn't pay child support or the guy that they got knocked up by doesn't pay child support. He never wanted to provide for you. He wanted to sleep with you. It's not the same thing. It's not the same thing. Because the guy wants to sleep with you does not mean he wants to provide for you. Doesn't mean he wants to provide. I'm so silly sometimes, but it doesn't mean he wants to provide for you, okay? And a lot of ladies that get themselves knocked up by all these famous do-rags, that's what I'm calling them, they believe that getting knocked up by the guy means that they're sorted. No, then you start screaming online on social media that he's not paying child support. Or more, he never wanted to provide for you. He didn't have that mindset. He wanted to sleep with you. It's not the same thing. Maybe he wanted to create a child with you, but he didn't want to provide for you or the child. Because there are men like that. They want to create a child with you, they want to sleep with you, but they don't want to provide for you or the kid. So you have to be cautious. Understand that you want a generous man. Greg is a very generous man. I'm very fortunate. And what you want in this life is a generous man, not necessarily a wealthy guy. Because if you have a generous man, you will feel wealthy. That's the whole point. You know, even if the guy is struggling or he's going through stuff, he will find a way to take care of you. Believe me, I've seen it with my own eyes. So that's all I have to say, guys and girls and boys and whoever is watching. Thank you so much for watching. I have to go. But before I go, I want to show you this very cute plant that Greg got me. This is a Christmas poinsettia because it's Christmas time. So yeah, lots to come. Lots of wedding content to show you guys. I'm so excited. And yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe and watch all the other videos that I've posted because I post a lot of stuff for black women. So if you haven't watched it, do yourself a favor and go and do that. Okay, thank you guys so much for watching. And take care. Bye.